I mean, I like this way more, but with the lighting, I think it might look better this way. Ugh. Okay, so my plan is to have him walking down a street and then turning and seeing at the end of the street Blue playing the saxophone. I really liked the look of a puppet. Because you know they're real kids interacting with them sometimes, and there's just something so effective about that, and so immediately you can connect with that character. I really find myself looking at the early Jim Henson stuff, so like 60s, 70s era, because I feel like there's a clear idea of design. All those characters are so unapologetically puppets. I think I was around 5 or 6. I went into a toy store with my parents, and they had a box filled with these Kermit puppets, these little toy Kermit puppets, and I was like, oh my God. So I freaked out over it and was like, Mom, I need this. It was $7. She said, we can buy it, but you have to go up to the register. And I was like, oh no. So I went up with my $5 and my like 3 singles and was just like over the register like this. And she went, okay. And I walked out with it on my hand. And then that was the main thing that brought me into puppetry. I learned to build by necessity mostly. I still have never used a sewing machine. These guys were all stitched by hand, which honestly is kind of how I prefer to do it. They're built out of a fleece called Antron fleece, which is a very pilly fleece which hides the seams of the puppet. So when you sew a puppet, so like mandrel here, I sewed the line here, and you can kind of see it, but on camera it's really well hidden. Inside these guys is like a reticulated foam, which is very porous. You have to take the image in your head, which is a 3D shape, and then figure out how to translate that into a 2D shape to then translate it back into a 3D shape. So mostly it's all trial and error. Pug is probably my favorite character to perform.
Oh, Mamma Mia, here I go again, my, how can I resist?
I remember drawing a doodle in one of my high school notebooks of a pug wearing glasses and thinking, this is funny. just the image of a pug wearing glasses made me laugh. He's essentially a pseudo-intellectual New York City pug. I imagine Pug like in a big study with a huge amount of books, like a library of books. He's sitting in a big lazy boy, but instead he's just like scratching himself and like eating from a bowl. He believes he is this presence of class and intelligence when really he's a dog. And he's gross. He's a gross character in that way. Conan DIY was a fan-made project orchestrated by Conan's team that was meant for fans to recreate clips of an existing episode of the Conan O'Brien show on TBS that will all composite together in a whole episode that is all fan-made clips. And then I immediately was like, oh wait, I have the perfect Conan. We have a monkey who I didn't design in any way to resemble Conan O'Brien. He just kind of does. And then in the same realm, Andy Richter as the pug also just worked very well. So it worked out that way. And then the next day we got up, hung out the green screen, put some lights on, and then shot it. Ross edited the footage and did that big beautiful shot of the door opening. And that shot is me 6 times over performing each puppet individually, and then Ross went in and provided some wonderful movie magic to make all the puppets appear in the doorway at once. When we made it, I was like, we're getting it. Like, I was like, this is good. Because I really, and I do think it's really good. Day of, my hopes were shattered. And throughout the episode, even when we were watching it, there were other puppet ones that I was like, oh, well, they did a few puppet ones. They're probably not going to do ours.
How did it feel to see your puppets on TV? How did you react?
I was so confident that it wasn't going to show up. And then poof, Mandrill was on screen. Oh my God! We were on Conan. Did you record it? Why didn't you record it? You had no faith in me. For a second, you had to readjust in my brain. It was like the gears shifting, like, wait, I've seen this image before. I'm shaking. I cannot wait to post about it. And like, I can put this on my resume now. Like, my puppets, I've puppeteered on television. And to see those characters on TV is not only something I'm so proud of, but also the fact that like who let like this face was like nothing's funnier to me than the idea that this face was on TV. Like the goofiest looking character in the entire world was on TV is also something that I find so funny and weird and wonderful. That's a good title.